Hello everyone, my name's Emma and I'm a member at Westroad and Wesley Community Church, and it's my privilege this week to be leading our devotional time together. We're going to look each day at the statement, "You matter." So each morning this week we're going to spend a few minutes looking at a seemingly insignificant person in the Gospels, but Jesus stopped to spend time with them because they mattered, and so do you, and so do I. And I think it's, especially at this time, we really need to be reminded of that and to hear that again. So each day we're going to read a passage and then look at some thoughts around the passage and then finish with a short benediction. So today, day 1, we're going to look at blind Bartimaeus. It's a good job really, isn't it, that in the main we don't refer to each other by our afflictions these days. Here comes Grumpy Emma, Limpy John, or Bald, well, you can add your own for your own one. But this man is known as blind Bartimaeus. That's all he is to the people of Jericho. He's one of the many probably who beg on the streets of this wealthy, busy city. He has no worth, no value, and he amounts to nothing in the eyes of his neighbours and peers. He's just someone that they walk past every day. Let's read Mark 10. Then they came to Jericho. As Jesus and his disciples, together with a large crowd, were leaving the city, a blind man, Bartimaeus, was sitting by the roadside begging. When he heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to shout, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." Many rebuked him and told him to be quiet, but he shouted all the more, "Son of David, have mercy on me." Jesus stopped and said, "Call him." So they called to the blind man, "Cheer up, on your feet, he's calling you." Throwing his cloak aside, he jumped to his feet and came to Jesus. "What do you want me to do for you?" Jesus asked him. The blind man said, "Rabbi, I want to see." "Go," said Jesus, "your faith has healed you." And immediately he received his sight and followed Jesus along the road. Jesus is on his way out of Jericho. We're told that he's leaving the city. He's heading back to Jerusalem. It's actually the last time he will ever be in Jericho. He's heading towards the cross. It is a matter of days away. He has a large crowd with him, the passage says, and probably not a quiet crowd, but Jesus hears the cries of Bartimaeus above the noise of the crowd. "Son of David, have mercy on me." Bartimaeus is referring to Jesus as the Messiah. Similar words that in a few days the crowds will cry in Jerusalem on Palm Sunday, "Hosanna to the Son of David." He's rebuked by those around him. He's told to be quiet. He is so insignificant to them. But Jesus stops. And Jesus stops because he matters. We're told that he jumps to his feet and threw his cloak aside when Jesus asked for him. He doesn't want anything to get in the way of getting to Jesus. There's a lovely parallel here. Jesus hears the blind man shouting. And the blind man is shouting because he's heard who Jesus is. Neither of them see each other to start with. Bartimaeus has heard people talking about Jesus, and through what he's heard, he's convinced that this man is the Messiah, the Son of God. That's why he shouts what he shouts. What vision this blind man has. This blind man has seen. Before he meets him, before he sees him, he's seen, probably more clearly than most on that day. You know, sometimes we can let the cares of the day and the weariness of life temporarily blind us or so numb us that we can't perceive the nearness of God. Sometimes we might need to ask, because we can't see, is he here? Is he there? And be reminded that yes, he very definitely is. So 2 things for us from this passage today. The first is that you have value. Just like Bartimaeus did, you have value to Jesus today, right now. Now you may feel like you're worthless or valueless or pretty insignificant, but you're not to him. However you feel today, Jesus is stopping to spend time with you, to draw alongside you. All you need to do is call on him. And above the noise of whatever is going on in your life, he will hear you. He will stop. I wonder if we're going to let him show how much we are valued by him today. Secondly, he brings positive change. Jesus asked Bartimaeus what he wants. "I want to see," he says. And Jesus tells him that his faith has healed him. And we read that immediately he received his sight and followed Jesus along the road. I love that the first face Bartimaeus ever sees is the face of Jesus, the face of his healer. He'd received not only his sight, but a new life. New opportunities were open to him, and do you see he chose to follow Jesus? The same is true for us today. You have his full attention. Ask him, talk to him. However you feel today, it's obviously okay to feel that way. You may be grumpy, sad, happy, miffed, worn out, however. But we need to remember that blind Bartimaeus couldn't be called blind Bartimaeus anymore. What did they call him, I wonder? The man formerly known as blind Bartimaeus, or he can see Bartimaeus. He had changed forever because of an encounter with Jesus. And just because of how we feel today, it doesn't mean we have to feel that way tomorrow. We might, but it doesn't mean we have to. Will we let an encounter with Jesus have a positive change on our lives as he soaks us in grace and love? You matter to Jesus. He values you. Jesus was on his way to the cross when he met Bartimaeus, and we only need to look at the cross to know how much we're valued. So today, if you are struggling, be blessed. If you are tired, be blessed. If you've had or have a busy day ahead of you at work, be blessed. If you're hanging on by your fingertips, be blessed. If you're happy, be blessed. And if you're worried, be blessed. But most of all, just know that you matter. Amen.